Hello again. Today I am going to talk to you about the reading process. It is an important topic because knowing how to proceed in reading will do a few things to help you. Number one, it will help you understand better what you're reading or about to read. Number two, it will save you from a lot of frustration that happen because you don't seem to be able to learn from the passage or even to remember what you have read. Number three, it will probably save you from spending all your time but not getting the reading done, and hence the frustration. Number four, it will most likely help you succeed in or at least survive school. Number five, it will give you more enjoyment from the activity of reading. And then lastly, and hopefully having the strategies will help you develop a love for reading and a habit to read because reading is so important. Okay, so today we want to take a look at what exactly is involved in reading technically. What is reading? Reading is not a one-way transmission of information from the material to the reader. It is a complex two-way interactive process, as we shall see. As we just mentioned, reading is an interactive process. It is affected by who, what, why, and how. Who is reading? So you are reading your background, your knowledge of the subject, your language level, your interests, and your past experience. What you're reading? What is the genre of literature you're reading? Is it a story, a narrative? Is it a comic book? Or is it academic materials, a research article, or an operation manual, a handbook, or a movie review, or a piece of news? Okay. And then it also depends on why you're reading. What is your purpose of reading? Is it for school? Is it for fun or for leisure? Or are you learning to get some instruction of some type? For example, you're fixing the car, you're fixing the washer or something. And then lastly, how? How are you reading it? What is the attitude? Are you doing this in a hurry, or are you totally relaxed because you're reading on the beach on a nice day, enjoying the beautiful sea and the sun and everything? Or are you studying for the final exam tomorrow? So you have to stuff the material in. Now, these all make a difference, a huge difference in the process as well as in the outcome. Okay. So in other words, reading is an active process. Not only is it active, it is an interactive process of making meaning out from the written words that you're looking at. Okay. It is a complex interaction between the reader, the text, the purpose, meaning the expectation. What do you want to get out of the text? Okay. And then the prior knowledge, your past experience, okay, and also the language level. For example, you're reading in English, and English is a second language. So how much do you know of the language? That makes a difference too. Okay. So here I'm going to give you 5 stages or 5 steps of the reading process. Okay, the process of constructing meaning out of written material. Now, depending on the genre, the skills are not exactly the same, but the strategies are similar. Okay, so what is involved in the reading process? Here are the 5 steps. Number 1, pre-reading. During the pre-reading stage, you do 2 things: establish the purpose, and then you preview. Look at the cover, the title, how the content is organized, and we'll talk about that later. And then the second stage is reading, and then responding, and then exploring, and then applying. These 5 steps will guarantee you better understanding of whatever you're reading. So here's a sample passage we're going to use. This passage is about sleep and memory. We're going to use this as an example. It is about a research group at Rutgers University who found out how we create long-term memories. They found that long-term memories are created during the deepest level of sleep. The brain creates short waves that transfer new information from the hippocampus to the neocortex, where long-term memories are stored. Okay. So here are the slides, the passage. Sleep and memory. This one talks about the introduce the scientists. The hippocampus plays a role making long-term memories. Okay. And then, this is where where it talks about the Rutgers University. So it talks about the brain activity that happens during sleep. The activity transfers new information from the hippocampus to the neocortex. Okay. So this is a research article that we're reading. Now here's the sleep cycle of an adult. Okay. So the first stage is pre-reading. During the pre-reading, there are 2 things that we do. Remember, we just talked about that. The first one, though, activating background knowledge. Think about what you already know about the subject, even the author. Do you know anything about the subject? Do you know anything about the author? These will give you some clues on the passage you are about to read. Connect this, if you know anything about the subject or the author, connect this piece of reading to your own life or to other similar texts you have read before, or to things that are currently happening in the world. Compare yourself to the characters in the text. Recall past experience. For example, with like this passage that we're using, you can think of something. Oh, this reminds me of the time that, one time I stay up all night to study for a final exam, and then I couldn't remember a thing during the test. Something like that. Okay. Think about a similar experience that you had. Okay, so here's a tool that you can use. It's called KWL Chart. How to use this chart? In the first column, write what you already know about the topic. Okay, so this what I know. write down what you already know about this topic or this subject. For example, what do you know about memory and sleep? Have you read anything before that talks about, okay, getting a good night's sleep helps you remember better, that kind of thing? So you write it down there. In the second column, write what you want to know about the topic. Is there any thing that you would like to know after reading this? And then on the third column here, after you have completed your research, write what you learned in the third column, right? What you learned, some new information, something that are new to you. Okay. So the next thing, the second thing that you do during the pre-read stage is to predict. Okay. You can make predictions by looking at the book cover, by the author's name. If you had read their books before, maybe it's an author that you know very well, so you kind of know their styles, you kind of know their ideas, their thoughts about something. Use the strategy, use keywords in the titles and subheadings to help you predict what a passage is about. So, or skim through the book real quick and make an educated guess or some best guesses about what will happen and say, I think this passage is about. So, for example, you know, this passage is about sleep and memory. So you can say, okay, I think this passage is about getting a good night's sleep helps memory, right? Now, the reading stage, there are different ways to read. Reading quietly, reading alone, reading aloud, reading with someone, reading in groups, or being read to. Okay. And there are a lot of different strategies that we can use to help increase or improve our interest in what we're reading, in comprehension, uh, help us to increase memory of the topic of the content, and also to gain new insight. So for example, oops, let me go back. To improve understanding, let me see. Yep. Remember during the pre-read stage, you made a prediction. I think the passage is about, right? You made a, wait, let me go back to, okay. So remember you made that prediction. I think the passage is about something, and now you are reading it. Okay, you're reading the passage. Ask yourself again, were my predictions about the passage correct? Okay, question yourself. Ask yourself questions. What is the character doing, or why did he do this or that, if it's a story, okay, or if it's a research, or why did they use this method? All these will help you understand better. Visualizing, try to picture it in your head. Create visual images will help sustain the memory. Okay, now to identify the main idea, let's use our passage again. Ask, okay, what did you learn from the passage? The main idea, what is the main idea of sleep and memory? What did it say in this passage? And then restating key details also help. Okay. Reread or complete, or you can use these sentences. Okay, complete these sentences. These are the key details of the passage. And if you don't understand, if you're not understanding it fully, then try to reread the paragraph. Okay. And then responding. Ask yourself questions to test if you really understood. Self-quiz, okay, or quiz each other if you're reading with a group or with a partner. Answering each other's questions help clarify the content, or write a journal, a reading log, or a summary. Discuss with the group the plot, if it's a story, the findings, if it's a research paper, etc. Exploring. Exploring means to read and reread more about the topic, to research for and gather and put together more information, and to gain new insights. This will strengthen and personalize the reading you just did and deepen your understanding. So for example, with this passage about sleep and memory, can you think of any other ways or any new ways a person could improve their memory? Finally, we are to integrate our learning into our own fund of knowledge. We are to use our new knowledge in our daily lives and in our environment. To do this, we can write a paper, we can write a report, or to work on a project using your new gained knowledge. So not only you learned something new, but also you can share it with others, with your classmates, with your school, your university, or even the community. Okay? So that's our lesson for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this is helpful to you. If you have any questions, contact us at isp@canyons.edu or go to our website, www.canyons.edu. Thank you, and I will see you next time.